And it's these elements of a community that I think that if it does not exist, it will naturally fray and not have a life. You know what I'm saying? Because there is no communication.
Right.
There is no cooperation, right? There is no strategy, right? There isn't someone that is aware of the policy.
Right.
There isn't so there is these elements of this story that we can use right now, implement in your family, implement in your company, implement within your organization. That is just is fascinating, but also just the role children can play in changing anything that is significant, because their mind hasn't been tarnished with, oh, you can't do that.
Right.
Be realistic. No, I'm being realistic. We finna, hey, it's just, and so I think that there is this energy that we can harness from young people. I say that like I'm 87. There's this energy that we can harness from young folks that can help feed the solution that we want for the future. Yep. And I just even hearing that. Okay, so we know how it went. I don't know if you want to land the plane on what happened afterwards with the dogs in the water. Like, all right, this was the end result. Just for those, because there may be someone that is listening to this and is like, I've never knew this detail of this story, right? And seeing the connection between, all this intricate detail on how this impact the national law. So kids all across the city essentially got involved to play their role in the movement, and it was a multi-day process. One day, a whole bunch of kids got, the next day is our turn, third, So there was this process to bring light, right? Leveraging the media. You're seeing how they're treated. Now folks are seeing in Arkansas, they just put a dog on a child. That's not right. Now folks in New York, now the president is like,
what's going on?
Yeah.
And Kennedy gets involved. He calls King down here in Birmingham. At the Drew family house, shout out to Jeff Drew, and basically it's like, y'all need to stop this madness, and they're like, King's basically telling him, you have legislation on your desk that you can help with this situation,
right?
Sign the legislation,
right? Help
us. If you're not gonna do that, then we're gonna keep this going,
right?
And that's exactly what happened. But with the efforts of these young people, and then those images going all over the world, there's archival footage of newspapers from Russia with these images on the front. You know what I'm saying? And so, especially, and you got to understand with the Russian relations at this time, it was a relationship on not only diplomatically, but it was a racial thing.
Yeah.
Russia saying to the world, black people get treated well over here. It was a black Cuban person that was the first Russian person in space. So there's these issues going on, and so Kennedy's like, we can't be outdone by these folks. Y'all making us look bad, basically. Right. And Kennedy's like, no, we ain't stopping nothing. And they keep that going. They fill the jails, which is a serious campaign strategy that I can't think of much any other place where they filled the jails the way they did here in Birmingham.
The fact that was a strategy. The fact that it's just like, fill it up. Yo, we got to fill it. We got to fill
those
it up.
Jails.
We got to.
Now you got to listen to what I had to say. There's nowhere for you to put me, right? You got to listen. Let's negotiate. And that's exactly what happened. And it was the business leaders of Birmingham that were the first ones to sit at the table to negotiate.
Right.
And they made concessions.
Right.
And then honestly, it took a little while for those concessions to kick in.
Yeah.
They didn't honor their agreement first. And so Fred had to come back.
Well, that's consistent.
Look, Fred had to come back and threaten them again. Like, y'all saw what happened in May?
Right.
You want that to happen again? We'll make that happen again.
So you telling me the government can't play spades? They don't.
Man. They tried though.